Oh boy, everybody. This Hangout on Air is now live. We've got an audience here all around me wondering what this guy is doing. All right, we're all situated. You're not going to believe how last minute this was. We were literally waiting for my bags 3 minutes ago. Can you believe it? I can't. Well, I'm here. People are looking at me like I'm a little bit crazy because I'm talking to a computer. Maybe they're thinking I'm talking to a loved one or something. But I guess the first step, let me know that you guys can hear me okay in this setting. Crystal, let me know. All right. So here we are, busting it out. Rocking the house. I got to find the page where the questions are. Almost there, guys. Okay, here it is. And the questions. Okay, here it is, everybody. Real quickly, I got a question on Facebook earlier today, and she writes, I'm 39 years old. I want to stay fit and as healthy as I can be. I believe raw food has the most nourishing value and meat is processed and cooked, with a question mark, question mark. Okay, so when we look at raw food versus processed foods, it's not about how nourishing it is. It's about how damaging to the human body it is. So, to be honest with you, cooked food from a nourishing standpoint probably can be more nourishing than raw food because you're cooking it and unlocking the nutrition from the vegetable, the cells, or whatever you're eating. There have been studies showing that if you eat a raw carrot versus a cooked steamed carrot, you get more nutrition content from the steamed carrot. But that's not what we're looking at here, the benefit of a raw food diet. The benefit of a raw food diet is it doesn't damage you as badly as certain processed foods. And the way we get our nourishment, whether you're on a cooked food diet or a raw food diet, is through micronutrients and the best of all, our vegetable juices. So that's that. And everyone can hear me and see me. This is great. So it's all about how damaging is it to you. That's the benefit of the 100% raw food diet. The nourishing aspect, yeah, you'll get some nourishment, but the body utilizes practically all of that through digestion, Dr. Norman Walker says. And I'm sure we get nourishment, calories, of course. Those are macronutrients. These are meals. And so we got to use the micronutrients in order to really get nourishment. So in order to heal, it's not about nourishing the body with raw foods, because that's not what heals the person from things like cancer and other degenerative diseases. What it is eliminating the processed foods, which is more damaging to the human body, which is the cause of the disease, than raw food. Okay, so here we go. Vincent T. writes, Matt, could you share your opinion on baking soda? Is there an advantage in drinking it? I ain't drinking baking soda. I heard it fights cancer cells by alkalizing the body. But there's lots of things. Why would you just thinking about ingesting baking soda? I've never even heard of that. People take it in the morning with lemon. Is baking soda even a natural product? Mercy Vince. I don't know. If it were me, I would not be drinking that, just personally. I just got off of a plane minutes ago, landed here in Quito, Ecuador, and yeah, people are looking at me like I'm crazy here. If you want to ask questions, the place to do this at is news.therawfoodworld.com/live. This is where it's at. I'm on my way to Sedona to go to the Raw Food Expo. I'll be there. I don't even know what day it starts. Friday, probably. We'll be setting up Thursday. It's a big party. I'm excited. Okay, Ricky Burley writes, I'm confused as to the reason your email says you are starting your Hangout in just a few minutes. But when I open the email, it says the Hangout is not until July 21st at 8 p.m., which is right now, Eastern Standard Time. That is not in a few minutes. This is utterly confusing. Thanks for the reply, Ricky in Arizona. What we state in the newsletter, give or take 45 minutes, because when I send a newsletter out, the newsletter system works in a way to where one person gets it in 5 minutes and then another person gets it in 45 minutes. So I can't, it's impossible for it to be completely accurate. Okay, and we got questions. We need questions. I'm only doing this for an hour today, most likely. Depends on how it goes. But we're rocking it live here. Here we are. Anna writes, 19 hours ago. Hi, Matt. I'm always missing either I'm always missing either a whole live show or the beginning for sure. So if you can answer my early question, I would appreciate it greatly. Anna, you could go on YouTube and watch the replays. Every one of these is on my YouTube channel as a replay. Good thing that from Ecuador to Ecuador, they're kind of lenient and they let me bring coconut water. This whole bad boy came on the plane with me. I actually got 2 of them and a vegetable juice that I already drank. Since I'm going on a plane right now and I'm going to be speaking and all these other things, the way I get over it where I don't feel bad at all and I skip jet lag and everything like that is I juice fast until one day. But since I'm doing an overnighter here and stuff like that, it's almost kind of like 2 days. But generally just one day. I just need to be sleeping one night without food. And then bam, I'm ready to speak in front of thousands of people. All right. I do not consume meat for about 15 years. Do not eat fish for about 2 years since my labs showed high cholesterol. And trying to avoid processed junk for about a year. Still do sometimes, very rare. I'm almost raw, as I can get a vegan sandwich at events or cooked veggies since 2015. Feeling awesome, started taking supplements to add to what I eat, as it is not really a great variety. Apples, bananas, and a salad at night, mostly all the same. This month got a blood test done. All levels are perfectly in the middle of range, but iron and B12. I'm surprised as I don't feel any deficiency. See, this is the dangerous of hospitals, because we all know about the placebo effect, and generally when the placebo, you take a pill that has no active ingredients, just by belief, you simply heal. Well, the placebo effect can work against you too. So now you look like you have a B12 and iron deficiency based on a blood test that on a paper you took. And if you took this blood test tomorrow, it'd be different results than if you took it today. All of a sudden, fear and panic can result, and you can now say you're probably screaming, I have this deficiency, which can be dangerous. I'm surprised I don't feel any deficiency. Well, you gotta stick with that state and maintain it. However, I started taking iron and B12. That's wise, and it's a smart thing to do because your levels are lower. But on a spiritual level, we don't want to go into, I have issues, if you know what I mean. Because then what follows? Issues. I ordered chlorella, and if I could add anything else to my meals to improve those deficiencies, started carrot juice with greens daily too. If you just started that, watch out. Your skin and your nails are probably going to get more, they're going to start growing faster. Your hair is probably going to look different. It's going to be awesome. I mean, that alone, if you're not doing that, that's where we get our nourishment from, like the best nourishment in the world. You're probably going to start flying after this. Thank you for advice. Cannot give up coffee and smoking. That's cool. Now, I wouldn't go on a 100% raw food diet if you're going to smoke, because the smoking becomes more damaging to a person on a 100% raw food diet. And it's probably pretty obvious that you're not on a 100% raw food diet because of your smoking, or you wouldn't be able to handle it for a long period of time, from my perspective. This is so good after a plane. After this, at midnight tonight, I go on a flight to Atlanta, and then after that, Atlanta to Arizona. Juice fasting, I'll be flying. That's it. Sweet. I'm on the Johnny Rockets internet here. Stole the password, didn't even buy anything. I know exactly where the basket is. And nobody uses it. So I'm flying here on the internet. So, hey, Crystal, let me know when that microphone plays. Can you still hear me well? I would guess so. So here it is. Terry writes, 6 hours ago. Matt, hi. I am here. Just want to listen this week. I love hanging out here. Can you do something silly tonight, maybe? Fly across the room or something? Thanks for these hangouts. I just love them. I'm not at home, so it's a little bit difficult to do something silly, Terry. Actually, doing a hangout in the airport is pretty silly. There's people looking at me like wondering, what the hell am I doing? There's two guys right here. They're like, see? They're looking at me going, what is going on? That was pretty silly. Okay. Truth Seeker writes, hi, Matt. First, really loved last week's hangout with all the spiritual insights. Yeah, last week's hangout was pretty big. I would go check it out. My question for today is, with all due respect to Dr. Robert Morse, who I think is extremely intelligent and insightful, why do you think he is overweight? I don't even know who Robert Morse is. When I make decisions for my own life regarding which path to follow, I like to look at the results and the outcome the person who is living the advice is getting. You gotta be careful there because, I mean, I was just talking about last week all the neurosis that I was falling for and that I was sharing. So you gotta be careful about getting information and following it based on how a human looks or anything like that. It's almost like we want to make our own path, or we take on their neurosis with us. Because all human beings, what they do when they teach something is they take their experience, and we all know that we all have spiritual issues, and there's these foreign thoughts running through our brains, and who's teaching you? You see what I'm saying here? So it's like, you got to be careful. It's like, you got to go with your true heart and intent here with everything. As much as I love Dr. Morse, it bothers me that he does not look vibrantly fit. Thanks for your take on this. I don't know the guy. I don't follow anybody in terms of, I'll get information from people. And then it's almost like, you got to be careful with information. You got to be careful with information because sometimes there's an unconscious bad intent. So it's not, they're not even necessarily aware that they're doing this. So for example, someone says, I was just watching this video where they say, I mean, I've done this too before, where I said, you don't have to go 100% raw to be healthy. But this guy was saying, oh, people were dying on the raw food diet, this and that, and no. Whenever there's a fear that comes into you, like, oh my God, I got to make a change or something like this, based off of what, you can be sure that it's probably not the right direction. So it's kind of like this whole thing, if someone starts in the financial industry saying, oh, this guy comes out talking about silver, saying how amazing it is, and you're like, man, I'm not on the bandwagon, and then you start freaking out, and like you're like in fear and pain that you are not on the bandwagon. It's the same thing with health. And what that is showing you is that it's just like a draw pulling you in, and it's something you don't want to latch onto. Fear is utilized in the wrong ways a lot of the time. So whenever something doesn't feel good, whenever you're in a state of like, I need this product. Do you really need that product? Because this person is saying what it does? I'm off the bandwagon. All right. Let's see here. Okay. Lisa Martin, what is going on? In Thailand, writes 10 minutes ago. You guys, sometimes I get the questions a little bit later. She writes, hi Matt, I am here living in Thailand and have found cacao powder, dark brown color. It says 100% cocoa powder and has no sugar. Everything else is in Thai. I got a burp. Excuse me. I have been making what I think is raw chocolate balls, but maybe not raw. This is all I could find in my town. Is it healthy? And also the coconut sugar comes from pressed in what I originally thought was cookies, but is a coconut sugar. Then they have another coconut sugar that is soft like butter out of the fridge. Wow. Are you familiar with these types? That sounds like extremely raw coconut sugar, and that's probably like pretty good stuff. Now, this is definitely a step up from refined sugar. Absolutely. And which one is healthier? The more raw it is, which is this paste, I would probably check it out. You know, you got to feel it. I don't know. Like, for all we know, this person's putting white sugar in it. I can't, like, make any guarantees or anything. You got to go kind of check it all out. But it sounds good. You're, like, at the source here. We sell coconut sugar on our website. It's dry. We also have liquid, and actually we have a paste, too. But you're dealing with it right at the source in Thailand there. You can get durian. That's just awesome. Chantenberry. Okay. With these types, which one would be healthier? Should I stick with honey? I'd probably go with honey. But I have no idea if it's raw. Thanks, Lisa. You're going to have to go intuitive here. But honey, raw honey would be the best, I would say, out of all that. But the coconut sugar, you know, hey. What about dried fruit? Forget the coconut sugar. Take dried figs and blend that in there. Or dates. I'm not saying coconut sugar is bad. After a plane ride. You guys, I just got off of a plane, seriously, 30 minutes ago. I had 12 minutes to get here, and I got here at the last second. I'm on Johnny Rockets, the original hamburgers internet. I stole the piece of paper to find out without buying anything, and we are rocking it here. And then there was like only 2 minutes left, and since I'm in this new place, my web browser was blocking the Hangout from coming up, and I'm like, what do I do? And I went to system preferences, and there it was. Here I am. Exactly at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, I made it. So Mac writes, what's up, Matt? What's up, Mac? I've got kind of a weird question for you. Uh-oh, I better drink some more coconut water before I listen to this. You guys have no idea. This is from my refrigerator. So recently, after just about everything I eat, I get crazy gas, and I don't know what it is causing this. For a while, I was eating salads with onions, so maybe it is the sulfur compounds. I've been on a mostly raw diet for the past year and a half with some cooked whole foods. I'm thinking maybe I should get the colon hydrotherapy done to see what that does. What do you think? Absolutely, Mac. I think you would experience incredible benefits. I know a guy like you who went from a standard American diet to a whole foods diet overnight. Excuse me, I got a burp. Had gas like that. No, I'm just kidding. Burping. And his urine was really bright yellow due to toxicity coming out of his urine. He got a colonic, and then his urine turned white, and his stomach just went in, and he lost more weight, and his hair started growing back fuller. just from doing this series of colonic. It was one colonic, and then he was hooked on it after that. But yeah, that would definitely help. It might even unlock deeper gases, and you know, I don't know, anything is possible, but we are cleansing machines. Gas is a natural process of digestion. You eat food, and what happens is your body digests it, and a byproduct, it goes through fermentation. A byproduct of fermentation is gas, carbon dioxide. And when you improve your diet and you're eating these like crazy intense raw foods, combustion is happening. You're going through withdrawals of previous things in the form of gas from the cells. It could get pretty intense. Hey, I was just on a plane. I've got like, my stomach's a little off too. ALTF Ambar Rose writes, hi Matt, my husband has respiratory allergy asthma. Can you recommend some raw food herb roots that would help to heal him? Okay, so here's a common situation. I'm like the Superfoods guy. I'm the owner of the largest online raw foods and superfood store in the world. So people are always asking me, what can I take in order to heal this, in order to heal this? But in essence, one of the key things we've got to do is eliminate the cause of the issue, which is processed foods. It's like if you were to take a plant that is perfectly healthy and green, and then every single day you decide to like break the roots, you dig under it and just keep breaking the roots, the plant starts to wither and the leaves start turning yellow. But you hear about these herbs and powders making leaves turn green on plants, so you try that, but you still do this to the roots. The powder is not going to do anything because the cause is happening with these roots. So what you got to do is eliminate the cause, stop hitting the roots or eliminate processed foods in the human body, and then you don't even need the powder or the superfood in order to heal. The plant just heals on its own. It turns green on its own. The human body heals from disease on its own without these things. So they're kind of useless if you don't eliminate the cause of the issue. Maybe he's eating a lot of dairy, which is causing mucus or whatever. So if you eliminate the cause, I'm not saying that's right. Maybe he's eating processed starches. That's even worse. And moderate amounts of dairy are okay on a whole foods diet, depending on what kind of dairy. So I could recommend things, but they're not going to do. But the combination together, when you do the herbs or superfoods, while at the same time eliminating the cause, then these things can be powerful warriors. Live here in Quito, Ecuador, ladies and gentlemen. And an enema and a chronic would be good. Terry writes, yeah, I didn't realize it is kind of crazy. Just tell them you are a celebrity and thousands count on you, even if you're in the bathroom. That was pretty cool. Sorry, I just had to say that. I'm a nut. The police, yeah, are right here with dogs. And I'm not a celebrity. When you see me in a motion picture film, then you can call me a celebrity. All right? I'm not a celebrity. Pip 444 with a picture of a cat writes, there's something going on with this coconut water. Something was in this jar before the coconut water was. What was it? Figured out. Onion? Maybe there's onion in the fridge? Whatever. Pip 444 with a picture of a cat writes, hi Matt, is Irish moss actually good for your skin? Does it help with anti-aging? I'm curious. Why is this? Are you taking it and you're noticing some effects? It does provide high amounts of minerals. So therefore, if you're deficient in minerals, things can happen because it's a seaweed from the ocean. And the ocean has all the minerals the body needs. The vegetable kingdom doesn't. So that's why I like king essentials, seaweeds, and stuff like that to get the minerals. So it could be. I want to know why you think that. All right. There's a burp coming, everyone. A burp. Dude, can you believe that they allowed me to bring 2 coconut waters on the plane? I'm doing a red eye tonight. On Johnny Rocket's internet. Let's see how many people are on right now. I'm kind of curious. And then we'll come right back here. Oh, I gotta like move things around. Here we go. Right on. We are rocking it. A lot of people. Okay. I am noticing all the people in the airport, and they don't seem so overweight. Are you in Ecuador? I am in Ecuador. Just wondering what the food in Ecuador is like. I know you don't eat typical food, but wondered if you knew what typical Ecuadorian food is. Are there raw food restaurants in Ecuador? Let me show you a restaurant that is sitting right next to me right now. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. So Ecuador is becoming Americanized, and in Vilcabamba, Ecuador, it's less Americanized, but they're wanting it to become more Americanized, and it's kind of unfortunate. You know, the 90-year-olds are in the fields with the 20-year-olds and outdoing them because the 20-year-olds are becoming Americanized. But that being said, it does seem like there are less overweight people there. That's kind of funny. I don't even like think about that. I don't know. And it doesn't, overweight is not necessarily a bad thing. And it's not necessarily, there's raw foodists that are overweight, that quote, quote, are overweight. This whole entire weight thing is just, and I'm back. Okay, so what I was saying was, powers that be have created this stick figure, which is what women feel they have to be like. Because the powers that be created this through all the different outlets there is. It's like an entire, and it's a vibrational thing too. And what I was saying, in an instant, if they chose, they could turn it around to where fat is the new sexy hot thing. And then all the skinny girls are going to be like, oh, I need to get fat. This is, just be happy with what you are. Like, it's crazy. Even if you had that skinny body and were perfect, you would find something else. You would say, oh, you're not perfect. You got something, you got a little excess weight under your arm. or one boob is a little bigger than the other, or something like this. I don't know. Okay, so here we go. I lost my page. Speaking of sugar, what is your take on cane sugar? You can't do raw cane sugar. We tried every process possible. So if someone says their cane sugar is raw, it's not true. Is it just as bad as regular white sugar? I wouldn't say it's as bad as regular white sugar, but me personally, I don't like to use it. Asa Low wrote, Matt, in your spirituality video, which I want to redo, by the way, you talk about someone checking you out. You checking out others. Then you say that you need to be careful about doing this. Can you please explain what you're talking about on this subject? I didn't say that I'm checking out others. Maybe you can write exactly what I said there. So, but I'll touch on this. So, I've talked about in that video and previous videos that there are many different ways to get your energy drained. And one way is, if you're a married guy or girl and you're like fantasizing or flirting or whatever of the opposite sex, and you start playing with these tingly vibrations, like if you get a compliment, and I guess this kind of goes for anybody, depending on the situation. Whether you're single or not, you got to be careful, because you don't really know what is behind or their intent or what that person is or what they're all about. So let's say you're a human being who gets picked up on and you get this crazy compliment, and then all of a sudden the hormones, like as a natural reaction of the human body. Now you have a choice here. You can either focus and kind of stop this process the way we would stop if we were angry. We know how we could just like focus and control our anger to where it's gone. We could do the same thing here. Or we can kind of like play with this, fantasize about this entire compliment and loop it in your head over and over and over again to where you get these tingly vibrations all over your body and it feels so good. And then you just loop it and loop it and you play and you play and you play. Like this is like the thrills of life, you think? What is happening, those tingly vibrations, is your energy being dissipated elsewhere. And that's what we don't want, because, hey, nobody's perfect. So, this is part of learning. But what happens is you finally learn that your energy is being drained. And because what's happened is, like, usually these compliments happen when you've built up a certain amount of energy. You feel great, you look good, everything's going good. You've built up energy, spiritual energy. Because down here, so you build up the spiritual energy, and then it's wanted. So it could come in the form of a compliment to where you do that, and then bam, you get smacked down again here. And the reason why we don't want to be smacked down here is because you have less energy and spiritual power to combat the foreign thoughts and things like this we were talking about, which cause suffering and pain. You know what I'm talking about when you're sitting there all alone in your car, miserable, and you're just like, oh, this sucks. If you don't have any spiritual power and you haven't built up energy, you don't have the energy to combat and get out of that. You suffer more. So, but you want these frills. So then finally you learn your lesson, you learn how to get out of that, you build up the energy, and then all of a sudden there's food, which is your energy, and then bam, you go in this cycle. And you think you're getting your frills here, but bam, frills, bam, misery. Or what if you don't do the frills this time? Real bliss, which is void of misery, not these frills. And nobody's perfect, I mean, that is probably one of the most difficult things. Is, the opposite sex. It's one of our basic animal instincts to procreate. So You know, this is like part of learning. This is the spiritual growth. And there's ways to be protected if you mess up. There's a difference between playing consciously and playing unconsciously. A lot of the times we're just like, we want to do all this, and then all of a sudden we catch ourselves in the middle of doing it, like, oh crap. What do? Sorry, I'm sorry. Can I have another try? Like, I'm sorry. I'm going to try again. I don't want to do that again. I'm sorry. Bam. Do you realize what the potential is right there? This whole sorry thing is big. That's why I'm always saying, and the number one thing we could do is, up to this point, I did this, this, and this. I'm sorry. That sorry, if you knew how many times I say sorry per day, so, okay, so back to this whole thing of, it's not a matter of checking someone out or something like this. It's playing with the frills. So let's say you're a single person, you get this compliment, it feels good and stuff. Spiritually, what we could do is still do that anchor thing and stop it and not play. Like, the playing is, okay, are you going to fall for someone who's not what you want, and then in the long run you're going to want a divorce? It's almost like we want to be doing the spiritual work always. You don't want to be falling for these frills. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like staying here void of misery is the bliss we're really looking for. I know you're going to miss that, right? You can't do it. Maybe you can do it. Maybe it's just a mission. Maybe it's going to take time. Maybe you have to go through this loop and suffer so many times so you learn this is what it's all about. All right. And so you can check someone out. I'm not saying you can't check someone out. I'm talking about that thing. And you got to be careful when you check someone out, though, because you don't know what you're checking out. If you check something out, there's a whole entire spiritual thing going on. What is checking someone out? What, you think you're physically looking at them? And you're looking at their butt and their chest or something? Like a guy's chest and a guy's butt? Is that what's checking it out? No, you're actually looking at the person and going, this is like, what you're experiencing the entire package here of, and you could go in, check, feel, but you don't want to stay there too long. Is this a possibility? What's in there? Can you sense evil? Can you sense good? Or can you sense like something toying with you with the frill? You know, this whole entire thing going on here. Okay, we got to move on. Michael Wolf writes, hi, Matt, I have an issue with overeating. Is there a practice to more conscious eating? This focus work. I'm eating a 100% raw for 2 years. Thank you. It's more like the overeating fear is what is hurting you. If you're at 2 years in raw, you should be overeating. I was overeating for the first 8, 9, 10 years of being raw before I cut it down. 7 years. And then cut it down like that. It's almost like you are under eating if you're 2 years raw. Because what you used to eat is much more caloric dense. It is a lot more damaging to the human body. And now all of a sudden you're eating raw food. And there's a big transition here. You are not getting enough. You are detoxing. You're going through withdrawals. You're going through a chemical, you're changing on a chemical level. You are under eating. So your overeating issue is kind of like a neurosis thing. Because you feel like you shouldn't be doing this because you probably watched another YouTuber saying, oh, you can't eat more than this on a raw food diet because I said so. And they're probably eating cooked food under the table. See what I'm saying? So you're under eating, dude. Like, party it up right now because it ain't going to last forever. Eat as many big salads as you possibly can and rock it. I know you're not a celebrity. I used the wrong words. I am in a funny mood, and you did it those funny sounds in an airport. It's funny. I think Terry here is a little giddy going on. Here, all right, let's go to the next one. What do you think of the raw till 4 80-10-10 diets versus a plain old cooked plant-based whole foods diet? I'm currently loving raw till 4. I don't really know what raw till 4 is. I'm not really into the 80-10-10 thing. We've had a lot of issues with people coming to me on these Hangouts, in fact, saying that they've run into issues by doing an 80-10-10 diet. Raw till 4, and then what? Is it like you stop eating completely, or you eat cooked food after 4? Oh yeah, you do raw until 4, and then you eat a cooked meal. It depends what you're doing in the past. It's like, it's like this, yo, but we don't care. Okay, so it's all about what did you do before this diet. For example, a person can be eating at 2 a.m. in the morning. They're eating at 2 a.m. every single morning right before they go to bed. Obviously, this is probably not a good thing because their body wants to cleanse at night. However, let's say this person all of a sudden improves their diet and the last meal they eat is at midnight. And if this person were to tell someone, I eat at midnight every night, they're probably going to frown upon them. They say that's not good. But essentially, they just made an improvement in their diet, and they're actually changing on a chemical level, and they're healing on some sort of aspect of going through it. They're changing. They did something good. So it's an improvement. What were you doing before? Were you doing an improvement? Are you eating crazy amounts of bananas, though, on an 80-10-10 diet? I don't know. We need more questions, guys. We still have a couple here, but Asa Low writes, this is what I'm talking about. So now you got it. And there's no right or wrongs here. We were talking about the whole girl and boy thing. There's no wrong. I mean, obviously we want to be as good as possible, and there's just consequences. If you want the consequences, then you could stay in this loop for as eons if you want. There's nothing wrong in that. I mean, me personally, I would never consciously do something, and if I caught myself, I'd be like, oops. Sorry. Okay. Right, cook food after 4. Lots of fruit for breakfast and lunch. Yeah, it could work, but what is lots of fruit? Before this, I was vegan for 6 years. Mostly whole foods with some processed. So this is probably an improvement to your diet, and you're probably feeling good. You're changing on a chemical level. What you're doing is you've improved. What I mean by improved diet, improved is not the right word. You are eating less now, less density, less concentrated foods. So your body has to process less. So you probably have more energy. It seems like you're eating a lot of sugar, so that might be stimulating you a little bit with extra energy. I wouldn't overdo the fruit, but I overdid fruit for probably 7 years. But I ate other things too, and it looks like you're eating cooked food after 4. How much cooked food are you eating after 4? It sounds like a good plan. What I like to do not till 4, is till 12, is to drink all liquids for breakfast. I just keep drinking liquids, vegetable juice, Kink Essential, pine pollen powder, reishi spore oil, vegetable juice, coconut water. I do that. I'm liquid till 12. That's my new diet I'm going to create. Liquid till 12, everybody, in the airport. Liquid till 12. Okay. Jackson writes. Before this, okay, no. Jackson writes, I wonder if you can eat. Jackson is the bomb. I kind of like I'm a little rough on him sometimes, and he still comes here and just rocks it with questions. I love it. Jackson, you rock, man. Jackson writes, I wonder if you can eat sesame seeds or garbanzo beans raw for tahini or hummus, or do you cook them? I've seen both. There's raw, just go on the internet and type in raw hummus, and you'll find all these different recipes. I think what they do is they sprout garbanzo beans, and sometimes I've even heard of them fermenting them for even cheeses or hummus. Burping. Okay, I'm a little bit nutso too. Okay, here we go. This one is Michael Wolf again. Thanks, Matt. This is the one, Michael is the one who I said he was a little worried he was overeating, and I said he was undereating. Thanks, Matt. I also wanted to hear your opinion on E3 Live products. I did some research and read about Klamath Lakes is the highly polluted lake. Okay, so E3 Live is another micronutrient. It's an algae in its raw liquid form, and it comes to your door frozen. We actually carry it on our website. I've gotten tests to show that it is clean. I haven't gotten the test recently. I haven't even really thought about this product in a really long time. I haven't recommended it in years. So I'm not 100% sure about the polluted aspect, but that's a good question. And I want to know. And then, you know, maybe we should just take a bottle and test it. Okay. Black sesame seed oil. Any good in the own rights? They say that they say actually black foods are really good for you. And black sesame oil, I know in Ayurvedic, I think, or Chinese, you know, I'm not sure, but Chinese medicine or Ayurvedic stuff, they like black sesame oil for something. Maybe it's good for the kidneys, I think is what they say. I haven't done much research on it. Do you know anything about menopause, Matt? Absolutely. It's when a woman stops their period and then they go through emotional distress and they get hot flashes and they can't sleep sometimes and they have hormone issues. Did I just butcher that or did I get it good? Anyways, laugh out loud. I will be 54 next month and have not gone through my changes. Is this normal with a raw food diet? I have no symptoms as of yet. Absolutely. Absolutely. Your body is working at incredible efficiency because it doesn't have to process crazy amounts of food. I mean, concentrated foods. So your body has more energy and ability to do other things. Leslie writes, why is beef is not added to your Whole Foods list? What is wrong with meat and milk from a cow? Hey, Leslie. I've been getting this question a lot, actually, lately. So the reason why we didn't put beef on the Whole Foods list is because we put chicken, fish, and turkey. It's less concentrated, and it's a lot easier to be broken down by the human body. But if you're getting grass-fed beef and you're doing an entire Whole Foods diet, you've got this crazy change where you've eliminated sugar and flour, refined sugar and processed starches, which are the two ingredients in the book by Gary Taubes, Why Are We Fat? Whenever this is introduced to a third world country, they all of a sudden get the diseases and obesity rates that America has. So it seems like you're doing extremely well. And you know what? If you're going to be doing beef and you've eliminated everything else, that is incredible. And then you say, what is wrong with meat and milk from a cow? Well, we just said meat. Okay, if you want to do it, you just got to check really well what you're eating and do grass-fed and stuff like that. Milk. If you could get raw milk from a cow, the reason why it's not recommended is because the casein content in cow is a lot higher than goat. And that is the most mucus-forming, that's one of the most mucus-forming issues that the body can have. So maybe in moderate quantities you can do it, and the same thing if you're eliminating everything from your diet, but you're not going to be able to do this without a little bit of this type of meat and milk, then hey, I would make sure that they're not being fed antibiotics and hormones and stuff like that. I would probably find the best of the best. And I would do moderate quantities of both of these things. Angeline J writes, is that like Angelina Jolie? Oh yeah, right, that's right. She watches my stuff now. Heard you, I'm just kidding. Heard you mention on several hangouts a time where you almost lost everything. I assumed you were talking about your business. Part, yeah. I have not heard the full story behind what happened. I too have my own business and I'm curious. Would you be willing to share that, what went down with you? Well, considering that there's only one more question after this, I suppose I could do something like this. The thing is, the reason why I don't like to share these types of things is because there's an entire spiritual aspect behind it. And most people don't believe in that, and they don't see that, and they look at it as they only look at the physical realm of it. And I almost sound kind of crazy when I talk about spiritual stuff behind it. But anyways, what happened about 3 years ago? Wow, it's over 3 years ago now. It's almost 4 years. I said it was like 2 years ago. What is going on here? It was like 4 years ago. Right before Araya was born was the collapse. So what happened was I started messing around with the law of attraction. And I was like crazy about it. I was like walking in a circle, focusing and doing stuff like this. And what happened was I made a lot of money at the time. And one of the reasons why I wanted to be successful in business, when I was younger, my family, my mom and my dad used to always fear and worry about money. There would be screaming fights, and I'm like, I never want to end up like that. So it was my mission to come up with a plan to where I wouldn't have to ever worry about money. So I discovered a way, if I were to live off of interest and I had this amount of money, I could live off of passive income and not have to be fearful or worry like my parents did. I was very frugal and tight about money for many years until one day I reached it. And what started to happen was I started to, that wasn't enough for me at the time. So I kept going more and more, and I kind of got lost into greed. And on top of getting lost into greed, I started going off of my path. And it wasn't, I always had a good intent and I wanted to help people, but I was lost for a little bit. And there was many spiritual warnings along the way that I ignored. For example, I got some stuff stolen from me from a worker here in Ecuador. And before that, there was something else that got stolen from me. It wasn't, and then the amount went higher and higher every time. And so then I just like didn't take the warnings, and I went even more crazy. And then boom, I lost every dollar that I had built up from that whole law of attraction game in 24 hours. And then on top of that, I had to dip in to what was mine and throw it back out to the people and stuff like this. And what happened at that point, when I say my life was on the line, my business was on the line, that night when everything just blew up, something happened to where I was given a choice. I could either continue the way I was going, or I could go this way. And this was kind of like the spiritual path of changing. And I didn't even really know that that path was a possibility. I didn't know much about it. And when I got a taste of it, I was like, I'm going that way. And then all of a sudden, protection overcame me. And then, and thanks to the Creator, I was saved, and it might have been worse than just losing all the money I had. So I liked it so much that it became the most important thing to me, making this commitment that I talk about, sorry, vowing myself, and then sticking with it for the rest. That's all I do all day long. I am trying to do this. I'm trying. That's my mission. That's like my meaning. That's right. That's what I do. So there's more to this story. So people look at this as like, oh, they look at the physical aspects. So then what happened was I went on this path. That's the most important thing to me. What I did was every last asset that I had after that, I was simply told to take it and throw it into the business to expand it. We're going into Europe. We're going into health. We're doing all sorts of different things. I have nothing to my name now. I took everything out of the ground. I took everything out of accounts. I just threw it back into the business. If the business goes down tomorrow, so do I. All I have is my land and retreat center. And that was a whole nother aspect of part of the building of the retreat center. And I was gifted, because I chose this path, what I built as a retreat center. I'm telling you, this saved my life. Physically, spiritually, financially, everything. And if you don't know what this is, if you look to the video to the left, Healing Series number 3, the video there, click on that at news.therawfoodworld.com/live. Boom. And we're about to do crazy retreats. You might even do more per year. So Ali writes, what's wrong with eating rice? There's nothing wrong with eating anything. It's like the spiritual thing. You can do whatever the heck you want. You either suffer the repercussions or you don't by don't doing it. Now, on the whole foods list that I say is a whole foods diet list, which are healthy foods, which means they are not damaging to the human body, which is going to cause being reliant on pharmaceutical drugs in the long run. Brown rice is on there. So why not just eat the brown rice? You could get used to that. Your taste buds would change in a couple weeks, in 3 weeks. But let's just say you want to do the white rice. I mean, heck, if you're eliminating everything from your diet, all the processed foods, refined sugar, processed starches, but you want to still do white rice for some reason, you can just go to brown rice. There's no gluten in there. It's just processed to hell. It's got no wheat. It's got none of the bran in there. It's not as healthy, and it's a little bit damaging to the human body, but you could probably get away with it in the long run because it isn't that bad compared to other processed foods. It's like borderline, if you know what I mean. But if you could do brown rice, that's even better. So yeah. Angelina Jolie writes, I believe in it and would completely be open to hearing the truth. I just told you the truth. At my retreats, I go into extreme detail. Just curious, writes Happy Girl, have you heard of kids walking barefoot on the ground outside? I've never seen a kid walk barefoot on the ground outside. My child does it every day. I think it's called grounding. Just thought I'd bring that up for another comment or question. I wonder if it's better for your immunities to go without shoes and walk on pavement as often as you are able to. Have you heard of this? Yeah, I've heard of this. And I'm sure there is benefits. Supposedly you want to do it on grass and earth. But if you want the best thing for your immunities, what you could do is connect to the creator. It's like doing that focus work and connecting takes out things that are draining your energy. This is like this whole connection thing. This is the best connecting you can do, is connecting to the creator. This is like the best thing you could possibly imagine for health. There is nothing better for health than this. From a physical, logical standpoint, It will take you out of a stress mode, flight or fright. It will do a lot of things connecting, changing your intent while you connect. I don't want to be doing this anymore. I want to be serving you. I don't want to be doing this anymore. I want to, and you don't have to say the words, you can say the words, but it's just like connecting and speaking. This is huge. That's a shortcut. All right. What is the best to eat asthma and COPD and herbs? Thanks much. Romy, you got to watch the replay on this. I was talking about I'm the superfood guy. Everybody wants what they can take to heal something, but you got to eliminate the cause, which is the crap food. And then you can start looking into different things. Coconut oil from Brazil is better than from Thailand, is the question. Thank you. Coconut oil is coconut oil. I mean, some are processed differently. Maybe there's some that are better from Thailand, some are better from Brazil, you know. But in essence, it's an incredible food because it doesn't damage the human body like canola oil. You can cook with it. These are just like the itty bitty bits. Like if you eliminate processed foods, then you can start playing around with like all these questions that don't really, you know, impact. I mean, it's good to get good stuff, but you know. Tina writes, if I had $50 extra this week, what would be the best items to buy off the Raw Food World site? Well, it depends what you're trying to accomplish. If you're wanting to nourish yourself, what I like to tell people to do is try to get $50 a month if you could get $50, and then buy different micronutrient foods to nourish your body. This month with your $50, get quintessential. The next month, get a green food. The next month, get pine pollen. And you do these 30-day supplies of a different food, or you buy two for $100 and you take a month off. And then you could like go back and forth with these for 60 days. You're getting micronutrients in their most absorbable form. This is what rebuilds the body. So the top micronutrients on my website, I would probably go with quintessential, pine pollen, kamut powder that we have from the Longevity Book. That's an incredible mineral, green, dense food. It's only a small packet, but you don't need much. It's extremely beneficial. A green food. Switch up the green food every once in a while. I said pine pollen. Maybe you want to try E3 Live once. Yeah, those are the main ones. Oh, and then a Rishi Spore product for immunity. Maybe. Anne writes, hi, Matt. Ecuador has a beautiful tree that releases pollen called devil's breath. The actual name of the pollen is scopolamine. Tiny amounts blow into the face can sap a person's free will, turning them into a compliant zombie who will do anything they're commanded to do. I recently read that the FDA approved a prescription drug that does the same. It is sold as a transdermal patch under the name Transderm Stock. It's placed behind the ear. The drug goes into the bloodstream and affects the brain, turning normal people into autosuggestive hypnosis subjects. Have you ever seen this tree or has an experience with the pollen? What would you do if you did? That's kind of interesting. No, I've never heard of it, seen it, or anything like that, but I think I want to get one of these and put it on myself and see what I can do with it. Like, that should be interesting. With the connection, bam, you can maintain a state no matter what you. All right. Okay, moving right along. Tina writes, I seriously appreciate you being so honest. It is amazingly refreshing. Rick writes, I believe in everyone's right to do whatever the hell they want, but I don't get why conscious people are okay with eating and thus hurting animals. Why is this? So, Rick, it seems like, okay, so who is the determiner of evil? You think it's man? No. If man were the determiner of evil, I'd be in jail. I've had 3 petitions written against me for various weird things. No, like, do not judge what a person eats as he does not judge you for what you eat. It's not that they're okay with hurting animals. It's not like they think about that when it happens. There are a lot of conscious people that eat animal protein, but they get it from animals that are grass-fed, and they're doing it that way. So there was a time when, you know, we carry like colostrum in on our website where the animals aren't impacted in a negative way, and the babies still get their colostrum. And all of a sudden I was made out to be this evil person in the eyes of the vegan movement and people seriously abused me and my wife in an extremely intense way. I've never seen anything like it before. It was like abuse. It's probably worse abuse, spiritual abuse, than these animals are getting physically. Now, are they the determiner of evil? No. Am I okay? Yes. That's all I worry about. But yes, of course, I don't want factory farmed animals and hurting people. You know, things hopefully will change. Hi, Matt. Hi, everyone. Happy Girl writes. Hi, Matt. It's Happy Girl. I am already connected to the Creator God. My neighbors just go barefoot all the time. Love the Lord God Almighty. That's great. That's great. That's great. I'm talking, that is part of the connection. That's like the biggest part of the connection. But are you consciously connecting? You may say that, but are you focusing to where you are looking and talking, conversing? So you're saying that you're already connected to the Creator of God. Are you saying you're perfect? Are you don't catch yourself in states of like things you're doing that you shouldn't be doing? So if you were connected, doing that focus work, connecting, then those things wouldn't happen. So this whole entire connecting thing, there's another step here. But this is huge, huge. What is your parenting style? I love my daughter, Oriah Berry Monarch, with all my heart and soul. That's my parenting style. Leslie writes, is it not safe to take vitamin mineral green from Health Force since it contains lead? I don't really want to talk about that here. I mean, okay, just straight with the question. I'm not going to go into the blah, 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 blah. Okay, so what Health Force says is the amount of lead in their green food is the amount of lead that you would find in a pineapple or something like this. So, and they've also said some other things, but whatever. You know, you gotta you gotta make your choice for yourself. Do you eat raw honey? Yeah, I eat raw honey, I would. Kavut powder, he writes? No, it's Kamut. K-A-M-U-T powder. How do you spell it? Looks good. I just spelled it. K-A-M-U-T powder. Meg writes, all kinds of skin problems. If I drink just carrot juice for a while, is that good? Or should I do all cucumber? Thanks. Meg, I don't really know what your skin problems are, but we've also got to eliminate processed foods for the ultimate beauty of skin health. But also, we could do things like carrot juice, cucumber juice, alfalfa juice. That works. I would do a variety of vegetables so you get all the vitamins and minerals. Just keep changing it up. And it's not a matter, it's like a permanent change. Like, always do this. Matt, I highly recommend that you read the book, The World Peace Diet by Dr. Will Tuttle. See, this is like the danger of talking about that type of thing. I know all about what's going on in factory farming, and I know it's not a good thing. I've already stated that, and I admit it. Just don't say a person's evil because of what they eat. For your own sake, from my perspective. All right, guys. I think we're going to call it a night. Let's see what this next comment is. Let's do this one last question, and then I'm going to end it here. I'm in the airport. I'm pretty hot. My friends are around here somewhere. They're probably laughing at me. Tina Hallberg writes, I had the Mirena IUD placed in about 4 years ago. I don't know what that is. In 6 weeks' time, my hair turned into a straw-type texture. My stomach began to blow up like I was pregnant. It doesn't sound like a good thing. I had what looked to be a first-degree burn all around my mouth with blisters. Okay, so you got messed up here. And you haven't had a menstrual cycle. Tina, are you the one that was smoking and doing all that stuff? I don't think so. All right, guys, it's a whole entire lifestyle change if you want to eliminate toxins from your intake. What we got to do is improve our diet by eliminating processed foods, and then the withdrawals and the elimination of toxins come in. Colonics and enemas are good. I'm going to call it quits here, guys. It's 8:12 here. Went for an hour and 15 minutes, rocking it in the airport. I knew this was going to happen. Crystal, the social media woman here, are you sure you're going to do this in the airport? Are you sure you're going to do this in the airport? I come every Tuesday, no matter where I'm at, doing these hangouts every Tuesday night live here. Going to go to the Sedona Expo, be there tomorrow. And thanks for joining in, tuning in. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you next time, next Tuesday at the Raw Food World. Hangout.